In a certain sense, these days from the regular ending of Hanukkah until the 10th of Tevet are the most mystical days of the year. According to Ezekiel, the holiday, the fast of the 10th of Tevet, should be on the 5th. And then in general, we have the 8th, 9th, and 10th of Tevet, which are called the fast of the righteous, because they fast these 3 days in preparation. Today is actually the 9th of Tevet, and according to the real Shulchan Aruch, it's something happened, but we don't know what it was. In other words, we're fasting and we're observing for something that's beyond knowing. See? Something happened. We know something happened, but we don't know what it was. This is like a rodlo, you know. It's the head that's not known and cannot be known. And that's on the level of the 9th, before we hit the 10th, which is tomorrow. And so, in my previous few years ago, I did a video about that, about this week between Hanukkah and the 10th of Tevet. And then subsequently, and as one progresses, this week is actually the methodology of the observance of the Hanukkah candles of Beth Shammai. So we go from 8 to 1 in a diminution. And this diminution, you know, passes through these days, the 5th, the 6th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th. And the candles become less. And on the 10th, we only have this one candle, this Ner Tamid, because it's never put out. But it's also the 3rd seal. So is that why we're also fasting in this? Or these days, it's the 9th where something happened, but we don't know what it was. Is this a parallel to the 9th of Tishri? You see? Where the 9th and 10th come together. Where if we eat on the 9th, it's as if we fast on the 10th. And here, we don't really know what happened here. This is beyond knowledge, this whole thing of the 10th of Tevet. It's a miracle day because it's the culmination of Rosh Hashanah. It's about 100 days, too. And we set our seal for the year. That's why it's a 3-day fast for the righteous. 8th, 9th, and 10th. And for the others who need excuses, you know, it's the what happened on the 8th. It's the what happened on the 10th. Ezra the scribe died. Something. Or I think they have Nehemiah. You know, excuses for it rather than sensing it. In other words, something happened, but we don't know what it was. Something happened. And in my prayers this morning, something happened with me. I felt I've lit so many candles. You know, there are 88 candles. I'm lighting 88 candles, and then I put it together. What else is 88? Not only in my life, but in every life. 88 is how many notes there are on a piano, how many keys there are on a piano. There are 7 octaves and then a few other keys, 4 other keys. Starts on the A, B flat, B, then the octave starts, and then the 7 octaves, which has to include another key to make it the 7th, if you're doing octaves, so it's an extra C at the top. So there are 88 keys, or 7 octaves, which would make sense in Judaism. But so I looked it up. Well, why are there 88? Because that would parallel, by the way, the 88 candles that would be done by by Hillel's version of 44, and then Beth Shammai's version of 44. So you would have 88 candles lit in the totality of the 2 methodologies of the observance of Hanukkah. So that's the piano number. See? Then so I Googled it this morning, because this only came to me this morning. I Google it, and I see that it used to be 60 notes, 5 octaves. And it came from the harpsichord. But 60 is the great number for me. 60 is the samach. It's the circle. It's the snake biting its own tail. It's 5 as opposed to 7. Anyway. So I felt I was a flame, a candle, a nair, a light, a candle pose. That was my brother's great yoga pose. A candle is always burning here. And that's the enlightenment. It's also the light for others. So come and light your candle from my candle. Say it again. Light your candle from my candle. There's no pain involved. There's no effort involved. You see the light? Light your candle from my candle. That's all I can say. I'm not going to be telling you like things, like wash your hair on Thursdays. Light your candle from my candle. And that's the great secret. There's a soul that's burning inside you. There's nothing to do with the body. That's why the fast of the Tzaddikim is 3 days on the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th of Tevet. Because it has to do with the soul of the candle, or the candle of the soul, and the flame, the Ner. And what is this Ner? Remember, we've done the Gematria. Again, theoretically, it's meaningless, the Gematria. But it, adds pepper to the eggs. Ner is Nun. It's 106. Nun Vav Nun. And Resh. Resh Shin. 500. So 106 and 500 is 606. And that's Atzmutz. Atzmutz is the 6th level past the Yehida level. It's also, there's an Atzmutz of Ein Sof. Atzmutz is the essence of Ein Sof. Beyond Ein Sof, there's an Atzmutz Ein Sof. Atzmutz can be broken up to 8, Ayin Zadik, Mavet, tree of death. Because the tree is dead. Only the soul, the outside physical components of the body are dead. Only the flame, only the soul. See? Kind of like I think if they call it the wick, I don't know. I mean, but it's kind of like the flame off the wick. It's the physical part of the soul is the wick, but the wax candle, the body, it's the flame. The whole point is the flame. Sometimes you need the body to get the flame, but that soul is there. And that's the secret. And you're an enlightened man, or what they call enlightened man. E-light. Ooh. Nice. So these 3 days are for the Tzaddikim to keep this, to show this light, because this light is the 3rd seal. You see, that's what we want from the 3rd seal. It's what we're begging for from the 3rd seal. For the 3rd seal. It's what we're doing for 100 days to start the year from the 3rd seal. And you're this candle. That's all you are, is the soul inside. And there's great pleasure, like physical pleasure in the soul. There's a physical pleasure in the soul. So these days are the most propitious days. These days from the end of Hanukkah to the real end of Hanukkah are equivalent to the days after Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur. They're parallels. Check yourself today. It's your last chance before the Yom Kippur tomorrow. And the fast of Yom Kippur parallels the fast of the 10th of Teves. The 10th of the 10th, what they call it. And if the 10th times the 10th, it's 100, it's about 100 days since Rosh Hashanah. So that's where that comes from, maybe. And strangely enough, the man put the gravestone, the headstone, on my brother's grave on the 5th of Teves. And I wanted it later, but it was now. See, it's beyond knowledge, you see. Something happened that we don't know, but we don't know what it was. Because there's another force that's guiding everything and everybody. I came down today in an elevator this morning. I asked a woman, "Oh, how are you?" She says, "Happy holidays." She obviously meant, she didn't know I'm still observing Hanukkah, but maybe she did, because otherwise I wouldn't be speaking about this now. So I said, "Well, how's your son?" "Well, son." It's like I'm asking, "How's Jesus?" No. So how's your son? She says, "Oh, he loves school." I said, "Oh, that's good." He said, "Oh, he said he loves history and he loves science." And I'm thinking to myself, poor guy. Loves history, what's told him, Science, what he's forced to believe. How about science when they thought the earth was flat? Or about science 500 years ago. And then he's going to repeat on those tests, and he's a smart kid. He's going to take his place as a quant, make money. And like everyone else, miss the point. To experience and we all have an opportunity to experience the soul down here in the physical body. What a bracha, what a blessing to experience the soul within a physical body before we go up to Soulville. And that soul in the physical body is represented by the flame of a candle. For your pleasure. And how is it possible not to understand this after you've lit 88 candles? You see, if you light one candle or do it for 7 days, you're in the halakhic world. But if you do 88 candles, you'll get a different perspective. You play your 88s. You play your piano on those lights. You show your soul music on those lights. If after you go up to 8 and then you start to go down, and it hits when the siege of Yerushalayim started, and surrounding, when the beginning of the end starts, and you see you're down to one candle, and that's it. After you've lit 88 candles, you'll have your own ideas. You don't need mine, because that's the light. I don't want you to repeat mine. I always say this, you want to look like me. Ruin your own life. you don't need my shortcomings. You see? You don't no, I've got it. I get it. I'm 72 years old. Let's get it when you're 13 years old. When you're not repeating all the garbage they taught you in secular school. When you're able to think for yourself, which you can't do. We're all controlled. Singing songs, watching football. People don't go for fourth downs on football. They're giving up 1/3 of their game. They go for 3 downs. Oh, he's an imaginative coach. Oh, a daring coach. 4th and 3 inches. He went for it. Not 3 yards. 4th and a half a yard. He went for it on the 50-yard line. Ooh. Ooh. Well, that's why you have to watch these videos, because that's the world. You know? Conservative world. You know? Worried, fearful. Why? He wants to preserve his livelihood. He wants to work next year. If he was a samurai and already dead, then he's not worried. See? I'm already dead. My body is dead. The flame is alive. It's flaming. You see? Those are the kind of thoughts you get when you don't cut your hair. Just like you'll have thoughts that you won't believe when you do next year the 16 days of candles. Ever hear that song? 16 candles make a lovely light. When I was a kid, that was a popular song. You ever hear of a girl's party? A sweet 16? Did you know that the depths of those Shir Hamalot, the depths are 16,000 cubits? And they came up, and the Shir Hamalot sinks them down 15,000 cubits, so that the depths remain 1,000. That's that 16th day. And that 16th day is the 10th of Teves, when the depths are at their proper point. After 15 days of Hanukkah, we get to the 16th day, the essence day. The essence of Hanukkah is on the 10th of Teves. Need I say more?